All right, I'm going to try to come up with just a short, quick video tutorial on how to do some of the theory in assignment number 3. So let's see if we can't figure this out. So I'm created a new table. It's called student lunch transactions. I got 4 kids. I pay for their lunches, and I just recently put more money in. So kind of on top of my mind right now. So it's just real basic student lunch transaction ID, a date, an amount, and a description, whether they bought food or I put money in. That'll be in the description. So I'm going to click OK on that, and it's going to create it. I'm going to browse the data. I'm going to put in some new data. So let's see how we can do that. One of those. So I think insert a new row. So, nope, that's the wrong database. There we go. Insert a new row. All right. Student lunch ID, the date. Let's just call it, and it needs to be in the right order. So let's say it's today. So 2023, and today is the 14th. And the amount was $200. And we can say it was a deposit. All right. And let's add another row. Okay. And let's come over here, make this look nice and pretty. All right. And let's go 2023-02-14, and the amount was negative $5, and we'll just don't want to do that one. Call that lunch. All right, and let's do another one. We'll just add a couple more of these rows. And yesterday, 2023-02-13, and it was minus $2, and it was breakfast. All right, and one more. 2023-02-12. I don't think they had school on the 12th, but 5, and it was lunch. Okay. So you see where this is going. This is all fake stuff. Who cares, right? But let's just pretend that this is kind of similar to what we were working on, right? So if I go over to my execute SQL, the first query I want to look at is just tell me what's in this database. So I'm going to do a select all from student lunch transactions. I'm going to run it, and it just tells me what's in the database. Okay. So now I can say select amount from student lunch. Okay. Or I can say select sum from student lunch. Okay. Gives you this. And I can say as, and I put the quotes here. You don't have to have quotes, but I put the quotes here. I put the quotes there so that you can see it has a space. Okay. All right. Now I want to say, let's work on a different thing. Let's actually say where it is. So if I'm looking, let's just say I want everything that's like was a cost instead of a deposit. Okay. So I'm going to say select from amount where it is a cost, and I'm going to sum them up where amount is less than 0. Let's see if that works. And that should give us a negative number. So negative 12. So if we go back and look at the browse data, these 3 added up is negative 12. Okay. So that's one way to say, like, give me all the deposits, give me all of the, so if I say deposits, I could say where it's greater than 0. Like so. And then run it. And there's the deposits. So If we look at bracket the data, that's the deposit. Okay, so that's one way to also to do that. Okay, and this deposit is just giving you like an alias for this up here. All right, now we can also use, that's how you'd also use the where clause. So we could say where the description is lunch, right? So we want to say, tell me how much these are for lunch, right? And if I don't do this sum amount, if I just do amount, okay, and don't sum it, I can just say where description is equal to, and it's a string, so I got to put it in quotes, lunch. Okay, and if I want to see what it is, I can say description and just have a comma, and then when I run it, it'll say description and deposit. And I'm actually I can get rid of that deposit since I don't need that alias, and it will just say description and amount, lunch and lunch. Okay, so that's one way to do the select statements. That's a way to do the equal sign. I think you can also use the word like. Okay, and if you run it, it also works. In fact, back in the day, if it was a string, you would use like, and if it was an integer or a decimal, float, whatever you would call it, a real number, I think is what they call it here, you would use an equal sign. But it's gotten smarter, and it likes the word equal also. Okay. Let's do a group by. So I want to come in here and say, give me all the lunches, all the breakfasts, and all the deposits. So I can just, instead of a where, I can be like group by description. Okay. And let's run that. So it gives you all three. Okay. But notice these are not, so there's your descriptions, the three of them, and these are not total, because this should be 10. Okay, negative 10. So I'm going to come over here to sum, and I want to sum that, and I'm just going to say as total. Okay, now when I run it, there's my totals. So that should be 10. Okay, now if I want to order by, okay, I want to say put it in alphabetical order. Right now it is B, D, L. That is alphabetical order. But what if I wanted to go reverse alphabetical, right? So I can come over here, and let's actually make this a little bit prettier. So I'll actually go, I think the standard still is you start the select statement here and you tab over. So I can come down here and go order by description also. So description, and when I run it, should stay the same, but then I could also say descending, like so, and run it, and then it's descending. Okay, I could also order by amount, okay, and run it, and it should give me the descending. It's by default, I think it's already ascending, right, by default, so you don't technically have to have that there, and it will keep it the same. Okay. So that's how to do an order by. Let's see. What if I go into my browse data, and over here I say this lunch actually cost 75 cents. Okay. And then I go to my execute over here, and I run it, and I actually want to have this rounded to 2 decimal places. What I would do is just come over here, and I would add round, and I would, at the end of sum, hit a comma 2, and now I'm going to round that to 2. So if I hit it again, it rounds it to 2. Okay, so that's how I would do the rounding. Let's say I want to come up with another column that will average what I paid for lunch. Okay, I can just add another column. So I'll just say, come over here and just add another column. So I could be average, and then amount as average, something like that, and then run it, and there's my average amount. That's what I paid average for those 2 things. Okay, so that's how you would add another column, and that's how you would average an amount. Okay, so let's see, what else is there? What if I don't want to include this deposit? So I just want to have these. I can just say from, and then after the from clause, come down here and say where description does not equal deposit. Let's see if that works. So now when I run it, deposit's no longer there. So that is the not equal sign. Exclamation equal, not equal to. Okay. And let's say I want to group by two different things. So say I want to group it by, there was another column. If I had a second column, I could group it by the other column. So let's go back to our database structure and let's go into here and let's add another one called student name. Yeah, let's just do student name. It's not very, so I'm going to click here. I'm going to modify the table. So modify table, save it. Okay. I'm going to add a column and I'm just going to call it student name. It's not going to be normalized, but I want to come over here and we'll just add another student name. I'm going to click OK. It's not normalized, but it should be easy. So for student name, for this account, we'll call that Andrew. Let's close that. And then this one will be Andrew. This one will be Kennedy. And this one will be Tyler. Okay. So now when I go back to execute, let's just run it, see what happens. Okay. I can say student name. And then run it. So something happened. Student name, description, no such column, student name. What did I call it? Oh, student name is missing the T. So let's get rid of that. All right. So now I have student name and this, but we're grouping by description. Okay. So if I want to group by student name and description, I can go student name, comma, description. And now Andrew and Tyler are grouped, okay? But it breaks it out by lunch also, okay? And then it's still ordered by the amount, okay? But you can order by one amount and then order by another amount also by just hitting comma and adding the secondary amount, okay? Let's look and see. I think that just about covers all the stuff you need to know in, I guess we can say like we want to add another thing for the where clause. So if I wanted to add a second thing to the where clause, I can be like where date year. So let's just do that. So we'll go string time and let's call it for the month. So I think month is capital M. It might be lowercase m, or day might be lowercase m. And then let's pick the date and we'll just say is equal to, and it's a string. So it's a string. We know it's a string because it says it's converted to a string. So let's just say it's equal to 2 and then run it. We got nothing. Maybe let's just do 2. Still nothing. Let's double check that it's actually supposed to be, it might not be M. Let's just do Y for right now and 2023 and just see if it'll, okay, so that does work. So let's just go down and look and see what the month is. I think for month, so if I want to, that works for year, but if I want to do for month, let's see. Oh, it is lowercase m. So lowercase m, and we want it to be, I think it's just 2, but I have it as a 3, so, or 0. I have it as a 02 in there. So then when we run it, yeah, it's at 02. So that's month. And then for day, where day is equal to 2, if we go back and browse our data, the days are 14 and 13. So we can say 14. So it has to be on the 14th, right? And it should have just one thing. Okay, it's Andrew. Go back and browse the data. 1414, but it's not that deposit. So if I say where it's not deposit and not the 14th, then we get the other set. So pretty cool stuff. So you can do all kinds of awesome queries on that. All right, so that is about a 15-minute video on pretty much all the things that you'll need to know for the SQL for assignment number 3. Hope it helps.